Namaskar. I am Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News. We are just going to discuss today now the narcotics jihad in India and the rest part of the world. And we have heard already love jihad and so many jihad. Just jihad word is just and mostly popular in India, but we are also going to discuss the rest part of the world. So in Kerala, last 3 4 days, the issue is very hot. So
Hot.
the heat and dust over the uh, bishop narcotic jihad comment. It's yet to settle in Kerala. Hectic efforts are on contain the communal divide in Kerala after the controversial remark of the Pala bishop on narcotics jihad triggered a war of words between the different communities. And hectic efforts and many groups took out rallies outside the bishop house on the last 2 days, supporting and decrying his statement, even as religious and political leaders asked their supporters to maintain restraint and keep communal amity while addressing religious congregation in the church of the Kura Vilangad, Kottayam, Bishop Mar Joseph last Thursday said the Catholic girls and youth are becoming victims of the narcotic jihad perpetrated by the section and decried authorities for turning a blind eye towards it. Meanwhile, Chief Minister P. Vizian and Congress leader declared the Bishop comment and making a sweeping comment by the Kerala Catholic Bishop Council, very strong body, highest body of the Catholics in the state. And they are saying the BJP is behind it. So new equation just emerged with the Catholics and the KCBC and BJP. And the church supported Deepika Delhi and Kerala. Sunday wrote an editorial reminding the CM that he represents the whole state and he has to hear all sections before rejecting their oaths. And there are so many stories. Now we have just listened hard and already read about how the Muslims are trying to convert the Hindu woman that is also defined by the jihad and for their just for the now I think so they increase the numbers and Bishop Walls, the Christians in Kerala against the love jihad, narcotic, and they are also saying the non-Muslims are the target of their the section of Muslim community targeting the Christians through love jihad and narcotic jihad. So we are going to discuss on this subject. So we have esteemed panelist, senior journalist Alok Laharji from Spain. Welcome, Alok Laharji. We have Vandana Zinganji from Chicago, senior journalist, USA, and from Subodh Kumarji. Just he have some work something as he claimed that he has seen some cases of jihad and love jihad, whatever. So I'll just take from the Alok Laharji. How just you see the new? Just you have seen the France recently, how the struggle between the Muslim and Christian community, and now how the impact on India as well as the rest part of the world. How do you analyze the whole situation and whole scenario?
Good evening, Kumar Rakesh and the fellow panelists. I mean, I'm not too sure in case that case of love jihad is so prevalent in Europe. The struggle has been there and it has been increasing in Europe. Uh, but we have to see things in its proper context. I mean, we cannot compare the situation in India with the situation which is prevalent in Europe. And for example, if we look at the population in Spain, the Muslim population is 4 to 5%. In France, it is 5%. Germany, it is 6.5%. UK, it's 4.4%. And as such, the ethos in Europe is very different from how it is in India. For example, here, boys and girls who are above 18 years of age, they normally don't live with their parents. They go and live on their own. If they are earning, fine. If they're not earning, then parents pay for their accommodation and education and everything. And the second thing is that, the society is very different, that they considered marriage as their something very personal. So the decisions are taken by the boy and the girl, and so to say, the majority of the Muslim population in Europe, they are immigrants, and they are probably from the lowest strata of people. So the intercommunication is very little. But in spite of that, what I have noticed, or in all these years I've lived here and I've seen in India, and the cases I know of intercaste marriage, normally it is a girl from the Christian community here, and the boy can be from any other community. Mainly, it is somebody who's from the Islamic. That is one thing. Now, if we take this to India, uh, how is it different? I'm going to highlight that. For example, here it is quite possible that you have a live-in relationship in Europe, and you're living together and nothing happens, and finally you decide not to get married, and then there is something else in your life and somebody else in your life, and they have multiple relationships, and finally they might or might not get married. That's the situation. This is very different from India. So the two possibilities which they are there in India are that either you get married according to the acceptation of your parents, or if you're going on your own, as we call it, the love marriage, then uh, if the girl takes this risk and she gets married, and the person who is on the other side, I mean, I'm talking about the boy, if he is not suitable, and he can come from any community, any religious community, it is very difficult for a girl to sustain, get remarried. I'm not saying it is not happening. It might be happening in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, or a couple of cities like that. But, the taboo which is related to divorce, or let's say live in, or some other kind of relationship, it is a big taboo. So, an Indian girl is under a lot of pressure once she takes a step like that to get back to her parents. I mean, it's quite possible that, let's say, there is a Hindu girl who gets married to a Muslim uh, boy. Most probably, like, it is impossible that she'll come back to her parents. I know very few cases where something like this has happened. Uh, but and majority of the cases which I know, with the exception of one, where I knew a professor of Jawaharlal University whose wife was Muslim and he was a Hindu. Majority of the cases I know, the boys are Muslims and the girls can be either Hindu, they can be Christians, or they can be Sikhs. I've never seen something so prevalent that the girl is from the Muslim community and they get married to anybody. So we're talking about the first time something like this was mentioned. I vaguely remember. I don't know the year now. Could have been in 2008 or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, when a Kerala judge only mentioned the word love jihad. So love jihad is not a word which was coined by, we love labeling the right wing, the Hindutva, or whatever you want to call them. And I have been searching the information which is there on internet, in the newspapers and everywhere. So when you look at the word love jihad in Wikipedia also, they'll start off with Islamophobia, this is a conspiracy theory and all that. So you cannot just go negating something. If earlier, okay, let's say it were the Hindu groups which are saying it's happening to our community. Now the Christians have also started saying. So they say that there is no smoke without fire. Why is the government in Kerala trying to, push it under the carpet? So if you think this is not correct, they have been asking the bishop in case. I think the bishop did not say anything. The bishop's statement was, like the harmony should be maintained between the communities. We are trying to maintain harmony. I agree with the bishop, like harmony should be maintained within the communities. But we have to keep in mind that if earlier you could have accused the Hindus that they have concocted this story, I don't think it's a concocted story. Then there must be reality. Now they are saying that there is this right wing people in the church as well. So Now, why does this happen? Why is it only one-sided? The reason for that is, in my opinion, that the girls from other communities, they get more liberty. They are allowed to go to the university, they are doing higher education, they're going to work, they are doing all kind of things. So the liberty which is there, now that is misused by certain elements who are probably getting into this kind of a thing.
You're talking about the liberty of the just religion.
No,
I
I'm
just
talking about
told.
liberty in general. I'm not talking about liberty of religion.
Yeah,
Yes, of course,
yeah.
liberty of religion is there. So my just submission is that in case there are two communities and they are making this accusation, the government should not, push it under the carpet. They should actually get the data. They cannot go and ask the priest, "Do you have any proof?" He is making an accusation. Now you go and do a study. NIA did some study on this before. Then they found out that some certain girls were sent to Syria and all that. So there are precedents, and I don't think we should turn a blind eye towards it. If the community is saying this, especially in country like India, where we are multi-ethnic, multi-religious, society, to even I think Muslims should come forward and say yes, please go ahead and do this, investigation, so that they also come out clear with a clear picture. If this is not happening, they shouldn't have any fear of having this investigation done. I don't know
Okay,
why we
okay,
are scared of these numbers.
okay, okay. Vandanaji, just you see the love jihad, whatever terminology in India and other parts of the world also. But as I see and just try to analyze, this is a struggle between the just to establish themselves, just a game of numbers between the Christianity and the Islam. How do you analyze this? That's why the cases of the Kerala in India has just come against the Muslims actually. How they are trying to convert the non-Muslims, including the Christians girls, into like, Islam.
It's a hard fact. Everybody knows the fastest growing religion in the world is Islam. We all know that. And there is an imbalance when we say, because so it is not only the love jihad. We talk about they do have all kind of jihads and they are living with that. Let this be property jihad, let this be, but we've been not stupid. We've been naive earlier. Actually, mommy, sorry about that. So what has happened over a period of time here, even in United States of America, what we see that the conversion rate in the inmates, it is very, very high. I have worked with somebody who is from Kerala, Dr. Srinivas, his name is, and he has spent 16 years of his life in doing a proper research. Actually, if I would have been knowing this subject like little earlier, I would have got him on this discussion. He would have given us the statistics, and his presentation is eye-opener. Each and everything is coming with the statistics. You know how it starts.
Yeah.
The lurement. This starts from the schools. Like because in today's time, these are like, the things that we look for. I mean, everybody should have it. But any country, even in United States of America, everybody still doesn't have smartphones, to be honest. And let's forget about smartphones. They don't even have cell phones. You must be surprised. Indian people have much more cell phones than the people in the United States of
Yeah, yeah,
America.
yeah.
So
India is number one.
yeah, so when we talk about the number, I'm talking from the percentage point of view, like 300 million the population plus India has 1 point. So I'm not going to talk about number, because the number any day is going to be high. India is going to be. So I'm talking
User. Yeah, your
users.
numbers are yeah.
Yeah, so affording it is like, but these things, how does it, are we parents failing at a point somewhat? Like, because everything starts, I always say education versus literacy. It is not that you send your kids to the school. The basic is the education, upbringing, like letting them know this is not only the life that you have. Because we have seen, I think, in a very recent story, a 13-year-old kid committed suicide because he lost 40,000 rupees in the game business. 13 years old, and he's writing a note for his mother. This is a story in Bharat. And that became very viral, because he lost money, and mother was very upset because the money went from her bank account, because he was given that mother's phone to do his homework. So we checks and balances, like in giving assets to the kids, but are the parents done right there? I am telling you my own personal story, because everybody was 20 at some time. Everybody was 15, teenager at some time. My mom was she had some parameters. And once you cross that threshold age, she said, now do whatever you want to. So this is a responsibility of the society at large, family at large. I always say we start from a pond, it's a bucket to a pond to the river, and river to an ocean. Why it became so mammoth? Who all is to be blamed? Because then politics comes in. And now what happens on Wednesday, we know in United States on Tuesday. You got my point, what I'm trying to say? So everything is very transparent in today's time. Always it was under the carpet. Usko Kerala ke CM ko kyun mirchi lag rahi hai? Why? Because somebody is trying to show him the fact. Like we are talking about the numbers in Andhra, conversion rates, why it is happening. And somewhat we Hindus and Sanatanis are also to be blamed for this.
Yeah.
So we cannot ignore our own responsibility and put because, and another thing which I want to say, that I was shocked to see the temple, our mandir. And उन लोग का जो ईसा है, उसको भी वो परमात्मा की तरह बना करके, भगवा रंग का साड़ी पहना करके, और वहां वो भजन हो रहा है. वो भजन में राम की जगह वहां मसीहा घुसा दिया. तो क्या बेवकूफ है जनता?
This is new trend, Vandana ji. This is new trend has been developed in the
last 10 years. Last 10 years.
Yeah, saffron in form. They are trying to allure the Hindu as just after that, just I am also just like you, and I pray your God.
This
also
happened earlier in the bigger cities. I am from Delhi, born and raised there. When I used to go to my school and college, वो वहाँ किताब लेके खड़े रहते थे इस तरह से. So they will say, "Oh, बच्चे इधर आना." Okay, बच्चा गया. Yeah, ये book है, Bible है. So because my upbringing was as such, I said we have lot of Hindu granths. Once I'm overcome, मैं तो अभी कुछ भी नहीं पढ़ा. Then I will take your Bible.
Okay.
Means so I was strong enough, but everybody's not.
Right. Not like that. You're right. Actually, Suroji, just see the India, pointing out the bishops how you have on the just by the in Kerala, he was a target, and he was saying the pointing the sharp rise in cases of young Christian women being subjected to abuse or religious conversion after eloping with men with other community, as well as this is the Muslim. A bishop warned these jihadists have already cast their nets over the places, as Vandana ji was sharing her experiences and news, including schools, colleges, training center, even commercial centers. A might of you must have been witness to the grief of the helpless parents whose daughters had been brainwashed by these strangers. And also citing the Nimisa Fatima, Nimusha, and Aisha, just Sonia Sebastian, who are Hindu and Christian respectively. They end up with the terrorist camp also. How they are trying to use the young ladies and sometimes why also. How just you see analyze, just you have seen the Kerala and you are the just lacking of the left parties, and just you have a long stint in the communism and communist party, and how your chief minister reacting like that. It's a vision. Suboji, unmute yourself, please.
Objective
Please.
analysis. I don't practice the same thing. I'll tell you the couple of the things which we lack. What we lack, that how do we perceive the Islam? We perceive the Islam like in any other religion, like in Buddhism, Christianity, Buddhism, and the Jainism and the Sikhism. We think that it's a part of the same religion as like in another religion. We forget that this Islam belongs to Semitic religion. And Semitic religion, there are the three schools in Semitic religion: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In out of the three, two believes in the conversion, and they believe in the crusade. The Christianity believes in a crusade, and Islam believes in jihad, right? And it's in a binary theory based on the binary principle. We have to educate everybody on this. This is in a binary theory, right? The parallel to the another ideology in the world, which is like in a materialistic ideology, clear materialistic ideology, which initiated by, and that is the Marxism, that also believe in a binary theory. They say the society is divided into the class. It's a capitalist versus working class, right? It's in binary. Similarly, even the Islam also believes in the kafir versus Islam, the followers. We don't believe. For them, it's a conversion is the kind of the path to salvation, path to go to the day of the judgment. They say we have done it. So they don't have any sympathy. You can't find any sympathy with them. That is the reason you can't find the Communist Party in any Islamic country, or nor you find that the communists are the very tolerant about the jihadis. No, not at all. I'll tell you, I have the Mr. Lahad, he was mentioning about that. Who used the word love jihad in India first time? Achyutanandan. He was the chief minister of the Kerala, and he used this word, the love jihad, in assembly, and said there has been a lot of love jihad in my state. And then everybody was saying he is going to against the Islam and all these things. Because CPM has raised several times these issues in assembly itself. Their members have raised this issue in the assembly itself. It's not an old story.
No,
it's a very old.
I don't think that actually just a Communist Party raised the issue. That
No,
that will
no.
later.
I'm talking. See, this is a debate is for the theoretical work, right?
Yeah.
I'm referring. You can refer to the Wikipedia also, and you will find the Achyutanandan is the first man who used this word. Now,
I'm not going to Wikipedia. I'm giving all the facts, whatever available, and just
now I'm coming to
Vishwa Hindu Parishad and other parties just try to
other
raise
parties. Now, no, the problem is unless we don't educate our masses about the strategy, because in Islam it is not allowed you to marry with the non-believer. First of all, second point, I'll tell you. The second point, in India, the law does not permit. The Indian law does not permit. India is listen.
We are not going to discuss here Islam and all. We are just going to discuss how it happened. This is a new Samikran, just
this is it. That's what I am throwing, the new perspective, another information which is related to that.
I'll come you later after that. I'll take Rakesh Tiwari ji from Canada. Rakesh Tiwari ji, how just Subodh is saying, how just you think this new equations and the new power struggle has been just going to see the world between the Islam and Christianity, Muslims and Christians. How just you see analyze this? This is this point to be discussed, and I'll take also Subodhji, Laharji, and Vandanaji on this point. Please.
Well, the struggle between Christianism or Judaism with Islam is
not Judaism, Christianity and the Islam.
Let me complete, sir.
Yeah.
So when you're mentioning about Christianity has taken actually a protective rule of saving the Judaism too. Okay, so let me put it this way, that as Alokji can agree with that even in Europe, or be it in America, I'm talking about Canada and US, both places. So you cannot have fanatic voices which is there already against the synagogues and the people who believe in Judaism. So Christians, they come forward. All those, America is not a Jewish country, but America stands by Israel, okay, against all the words. Britain stands by it. Canada stands by it. Europe stands by it. Okay, but so Judaism is not coming up front with the sword or with the fighting. Christianity has taken over. Okay, in that way. Now coming back to between Christianism and Islam, in a way I can agree with this because they all come from the same place. They are as they are coming Semitic. They are so as it was mentioned in the in the discussion. But definitely, I was not looking for that this is going to happen, but this is happening. Okay, that now the next fight or the next polarization which is happening, it is happening on the name of religion. West is also divided in between because they are because in Canada especially Islamophobia is a big word, big huge thing. Means anybody says anything and you can be charged against it if you say anything against Islam, or it has been portrayed. One of the recent candidates of Conservative Party was put down, although she claimed that her tweet was her Twitter handle was hacked and somebody has posted it. But this is what is happening in Canada. But at the same time, definitely the swords are out. Christianism and Islam, they both are not looking at each other in a very friendly manner. Although everybody is trying to protect and everybody has their face covered, but sooner or later that is going to come off. Now, as per the subject about the narcotics jihad in India and world, in Bharat and world, narcotics, I believe, is a criminalization. Okay, put it this way, where the drugs are used by the various agencies and various peoples, or even the I will say, U.S. agency has used U.S. CIA and other agencies has used it on the black people. Okay, narcotics was used there, so that becomes a total criminal matter in my understanding. Definitely all those powerful, all those people who are using terrorism, they do add it, this part, the narcotics, to in order to recruit their own people, in order to fight. So that is easier part in that way, because once you give them some drugs, a fame or another those things you give them, then you preach them and you brainwash them or whatever you try to do that. But definitely, I'm looking at it with a worrisome angle that, as Afghanistan came at the forefront, a discussion on Sharia law, as I'm surprised and shocked in that way. 90 to 90, most of the people, they are agreeing with the Sharia. They are so-called well-educated people. Jammu Kashmir's chief minister acts and present chief minister, no, not present chief minister, be it Mufti, Mehbooba Mufti, or Farooq Abdullah, or his son. And they are saying, we are expecting that Taliban is going to rule according to Shia. That means they are saying that tomorrow they would like to have the same thing in Bharat as well. Okay, so glad let me say, this is for the world and for Bharat. This is the greatest thing happened in another, as is called, blessing in disguise. It happened that a lot of faces, their mask has been put off. Their mask came out.
So nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So Alok Raharji, just how just stated Rakesh Tiwari ji and Subodh ji, and also just Vandana ji said Islam is the only religion, fastest growing religion. Just how they have just mechanized the system, just to just ISI formula, either Syria formula, and whatever. They're just trying to make the violence in their concerned country, just like Afghanistan. They just migrated to the different countries' numbers. And after that, they're trying to form their groups and hue and cry for the religion and just Sharia and blah blah all. So on this the new development, how in the Kerala I have seen the BJP and the Kerala Bishop Council, ACBC is just already the very powerful body. This is as you know, so we can say this is a very important. the Kerala Bishops Christian Council and with the highest body, and now they have been charged and blamed that they have came together with the BJP. And how? So this is one. Number two, how we see the struggle between the Christianity and Islam with reference to the violence in Belgium, violence in France, and violence in Denmark and other parts of Europe also, on the European perspective. Alok, you unmute yourself.
I'd start off with the violence which is taking place, and until now, Europe and even North America, United States and Canada, they were untouched by any kind of violence, terrorist violence. And when I talk about the terrorist violence, I'm talking about the Islamic terrorist violence. Now what has happened is, all this time these kind of activities were happening mainly in Asia, and to be very specific, in Southeast Asia. But now that they have started happening, I'm not going to blame immigration on this, but there are certain elements. There are lots of people who migrate from one country to another looking for better perspectives in life, or they because of work requirement. I mean, just imagine in Afghanistan, there were so many Americans that they had to send 2 Qatari planes to get those people there. They were not all military guys. They were actually business people, or people who were working in development or in medicine or whatever. So similarly, like now world has become a global village. So people are migrating, but among these people, certain elements who come in and their only purpose is the expansion of their religion. I mean, we should not forget that when the Christians, they went on crusades, like Subodhi said, or when they went to Latin America and all that. So along with the discoverers like Columbus and others, then there were priests who went there, and they went there to evangelize. This is a fact. And the similar thing happened in India also. So now we have a very so now that they've started facing this, 7/11 was there, and we know how it happened and who made it happen. And similar cases in Spain and in France and in Germany, like for example, Germany, they have this very famous case of mass rape of women on the New Year Eve, which shattered the country. And similar things have been happening in Sweden as well. But now they are facing the heat, they have become more and more conscious about this. But now this is kind of something which is very strange phenomena which has happened in Kerala, because for Muslims, Isa Masih is one of the Christ is one of the Messiahs for them. The starting from Moses, and when you come down, and obviously the last messenger of God is Muhammad. But they have always kind of given all the due respect to Jesus. But now it happens that there is a religious leader who does not belong to RSS or the right wing or BJP or anything, but he belongs to a Christian organization. And there is a party which supports the Christians in Kerala, and which is Congress M. We all know about it. But now suddenly they are finding it tough to collaborate with the Communist Party of India, which has been ruling Kerala ever since. And since Subodhi also mentioned that V.S. Achyutananda, he brought me that name to memory. He was the first one to use it in the House, and he was from CPI, and he was the Chief Minister of Kerala from 2006 to 2011. Now the conflict there, it is not anymore, the right wing and the left wing kind of a thing. Now there's a third thing emerging there, and they don't know how to react to this. So the first thing, and then if we look at the numbers, if we look at the numbers, the Muslims in Kerala, they form 26.56%, whereas the Christians are 18.38%. So in case you were the politician and you were to side with a population which is going to give you, a block vote between 26.57 and 18.38, who are you going to support? It's very clear why they don't want to support the church is basically because it is a number game. And
This is a good politics. Yeah.
what is this gentleman's name who is, who has this company who runs, was the poll advisor to Mamta ji?
PK.
The gentleman from Bihar who has
Prashant
this
Kishore.
company.
He's talking about Prashant Kishore.
Prashant Kishore, yeah, exactly. So Prashant Kishore also said, and it's on his tweet, that Muslims know how to vote. They get together and they vote for the party which is going to work for their cause. So we can talk about Christians, and you can think that they vote for the secular Congress. They might be people who vote for others because the thought is more liberal. You are not
Yeah,
controlled here.
Congress is Alok, Congress is not there. Only the left parties, all over the India, 1.5 states left just has.
There is
Just
hardly
trying to
any
sell.
left in all of India. It is either in JNU or it is in Kerala. Even
No, and then
even
JNU is
in
Your,
also
the
your
voting for
Rahul
Abbas.
Gandhi is from Kerala.
Pardon me?
Now.
Your
No,
Rahul Gandhi is from Kerala.
What?
no.
So
Rahul Gandhi,
no,
he says that he's a Kashmiri Pandit now, so you never know where is he from.
no,
He
that
He's
is
keeps
a
the
changing
matter.
he,
Matter of
he's
other
a member
place.
of parliament from Kerala. Am I
Why?
correct?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Yeah, he is
Yeah,
a
he's
member
won
of.
the
May I?
election from Kerala, which is a different
May
story.
I?
I thought you were just to
Just
finish this off. Uh, Now, what is happening is that they don't know how to react. So the first reaction from the left parties and the journalists is to hush it away. No, no, no. He's destroying the communal harmony which has existed in Kerala and all that. But there has been a smoldering all these years, which they are trying to push under the carpet. I'm repeating it, and it is going to come out someday. So this is what I'm saying. So I think I have responded to both your questions, and now you can do it whoever you want to for the next comment. Thank you.
Okay. Vandana ji, just as Alok ji mentioned, just the vote percentage of the Muslims and the Christians. So although the number of the votes already more much than the Christianity, and Hindus are there, but in very few numbers. But whoever Hindus are there, they are communist mostly. So the enemies of Hindus are Hindu, already stated and already known throughout the world. That is one point. Another point is there how just nuns are now going to agitate against the Muslim organization in Kerala. I think this is the first time. I'll take also from on the comment on Subodhji, and Subodhji can analyze in other way. So how just you seen this is a new equations, political equations, as going to develop in India and just with related to other parts of the world.
Yeah, two things you asked, and I'm going to respond to the both.
Please,
When we
please.
talk about the population, I said imbalances in the different religions. We see that, we are seeing decreasing number in the Western world when we talk about, because the Sanatanis migrated recently, because the original was Christians. Because they don't believe in marriages, they stay together, and then there is a single mother or the single father. So marriage is not even priority. Either they are very 40, 45, they start thinking about, oh, we have to have a family, kids. No, we don't want kids. So number is decreasing. Then our own Sanatanis Hindus, one or two, because before even government thinks, we are ahead of them, to be honest. We are ahead of them. पहले वो है ना, हम दो हमारे तीन, हम दो हमारे दो, अभी एक आ रहा है. तो वो लोग गवर्नमेंट तो before even thinking, Hindus are way ahead of them. वो कहते we don't even want child. They're not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I recall there was one RSS chief. It was before Mohan Bhagwat. They says Hindus को 4 बच्चा पैदा करना चाहिए. The day the statement came, पूरी दुनिया में आग लग गई, because why they are saying it. It was, if you see that statement, it was to bring the balance in the community. And I have this statement, which I'm going to read it. Kerala nuns stage walk out protesting priest speech against Muslims. So if we see that, who are these nuns? Because as you already mentioned, earlier, we talk about Kerala when it comes to any Bharatiya's mind, Kerala is 100% literate state. So literacy and education, it was only the literate, it was not an educated state. Let me be very, very honest, to be honest. And people in North India used to feel that they are more Christians living in Kerala. But how this proportion has changed over a period of time. We have been lived all our life, because before 30 years, we used to live in New Delhi. We used to see nurses in the hospital. They were all coming from Kerala, then happened from Tamil Nadu. Whom we used to see in the central government offices, it was the people, those who, men like typing and shorthand stenographers and stuff like that. That was the Kerala community that who used to come and work in India, because the profession of nursing was not, means it never used to be like in our North Indian community. Oh no, nurse nahi banana hai to the daughter. Now means like it has changed. Yeah. So that over a period of time, this thing has changed in Kerala. One, we are seeing it because even the Christianity, that the jihad thing, which is your basic question, it has come, they have been converted. They have been converted. But we kept our eyes closed, and this has happened. Parde ke piche chup se hota raha. And of course, when we talk about politicians, no matter who they are, no matter which party, they will always be looking for vote. We don't go and vote. Even in our US elections of 2020, Muslims openly said 1 million vote for Biden. So he will be dancing to their tunes, and that we are already seeing it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Rakesh Tiwari,
Yes.
something you want to add?
Well, for me, adding is one part which is a bit amusing. The love jihad means I'm so glad.
Sir, we are talking after love. This is narcotics jihad. They are using now the drugs just to lure the girls and whatever.
Let me complete, sir. Let me complete.
Please,
okay.
Please, sir.
Narcotics jihad is. So I'm just saying that. Means
Please,
I was not sure, and I'm so glad that our fellow panelist Subodhji has mentioned that CPM or CPI claims the love jihad word. Wow, I thought that it is gone glue with the Yogi Adityanath. So I'm very sure that with the leftist party, they will rise against it, and
once
they will
upon a time, matter of 2006.
let me complete. So I think BJP. I never thought the BJP and the left will be so united in this way. Okay, so they are both standing together. So Subodhji, against now. Narcotics too. Also, I think that's a very I will say enlightening experience. Okay, where BJP and left coming together against any kind of jihad. I will say against any kind of jihad which kills other people, and which the sales people mention is differently where that you fight against your own bad things, whatever inside, leaving that aside. Okay. But definitely this was, as you mentioned, for me it's enlightening from Subodhji, that, and I'm so glad that in future BJP and left is coming together.
So nice. So last take the Subodhji, and Subodh, just to answer the new equation of just say the Rakesh Tiwari ji. Something, Alok just actually we have only 1 minute 30 seconds.
1 minute after Subodhji.
Okay, so last take you will take. Subodhji, just 1 minute 30 seconds. So we have to complete both, and 50 seconds. Unmute yourself, please.
All of my panelists.
Rakesh Tiwari.
No, okay, no problem, sir. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, please.
All of my panelists agreed on this point that the Islam is, the fastest growing religion. Maybe the fastest growing religion for one reason, that they think they cannot convert the normal people, so they bring the child, which is happens to be in the Islam family, so they
all
can become
fraudulent acts had been
carried out
this one. Please.
But let's not forget for the group which is a non-believer, the atheist. Their growth rate is also 16% population in the worldwide now. It's almost touching this one. So, and they are like in a diabolic. They are diabolic with each other. My question over here, that we need to educate the people that this religion is a binary religion. take it, and if you leave it, you have to fight. And let's not worry about the Islamic growth, because they don't have the control on the computer, they don't have the control on the space technology, they don't have the control on the robotics, they don't have the control on the anything. You can't find any Infosys company from the any Islamic country. So they are like in a mass, and they are like in a mass potato. They will be buried into that. Jewish population is only 1.5% in the world, and the Jewish population controls the whole West Asia. The Israel is a very small country and controls the whole West Asia, not because with the grace of the United States of America, because they are such a pressure group in the America that no American president can dare to do anything against the Israel. It's not on the mercy. It's not the choice of the American president, for the compulsion for the American president to do with this one.
True.
Okay, sir.
And
Okay,
that's
sir.
what
Okay.
the Benjamin Netanyahu, he mentioned about that. So
Sir.
we need inequality, and in the particularly the narcotics and anything. You know what I'll tell you about the Islam? They say Male Ganimat is your choice, and they take it like a Male Ganimat, right? So therefore you have to have to educate them. Narcotics is in a very first class strategy to dope the people and convert them and to do that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Alokji, I'll just take the Vandana last take.
I have one thing to say. When you talk about the Jewish community, they are the true friends of Hindus. So sometimes I call myself a Hindu, because when we were fighting, the NTCA, Chicago is the only city in the world which could overcome, and we won that. And we took the help of our Jewish brothers and sisters. And I am a proud alumni of American Jewish Council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Alokji, last take, please.
Okay.
Nice input by Vandana ji. Yeah.
Now, first of all, I would like to, point out that Mr. Tiwari, he said that, it's nice to see that CPI and BJP are on the same page. They are not. They are at loggerheads. I don't even think they'll be together ever.
No, Alokji, actually,
Just finishing 1 minute. That's one thing. One of their chief ministers.
Yeah. What context he just stated his statement, so we don't know. We know it. Yeah. Please.
One of their chief ministers mentioned it, like this priest has mentioned, and they are trying to shut him up. They shut their chief minister. They said, "Don't do it." And please believe me that CPI. I've been a member of SFI when I was young in Jawaharlal Nehru University. It is not like Bharatiya Janata Party that you have 5 people who are saying one thing and the party line is different. It doesn't work like this. Either you fall into line, or they'll throw you out of it. It is not even binary. it just goes in one thing. That is one thing.
That's true.
And the second thing is, how is
super binary?
How is the narcotics related to love jihad is what they're doing, and even here it works. I'm certain that United States of America, what they do is they'll lure out girls and they'll ask them to come out, which normally, you cannot do with the Muslim girls, because they're not allowed. They're not even allowed to speak with other people. Just they can't come out of their, I don't need to elaborate on that. Now, in case there is an educated girl who's working
and 20 seconds, only 20 seconds.
Only 20 seconds. What they do is they take that person out, and while the time they're having a coffee or something, they'll mix something into the drinks. And once that person is, it is not, you don't need to brainwash that person. The person is lifted and sexually abused. After that, in India, if a girl has been sexually abused, it becomes a taboo, and then she has no other, even court cases are there. Are you ready to marry this girl? If yes, then I'll bury you of a rape case. This is happening. This is the mindset we have in India. So that is there. And finally, CPI is 25.4% in Kerala, Congress 25.1%, and BJP is 1.3%. So now, you cannot... you can just brush it away. CPI has done a very good job in educating women. There's no doubt about it. But since the numbers are less, BJP came in late. and they have not seen these kind of jihad. Why the uproar is more in the north is because we had seen, north has seen the Islamic invasions, and it is in the blood, especially Punjabis, and we know what an invasion is about. Kerala was always protected. They are seeing it now. That's the reason. Now, education has made women go out, which is a very good thing, but now it is also working against them, because then since the liberty is there, the education is there, they want to take out their own decisions, and at times they fall prey to certain people who are sitting in the bush, and their only viewpoint is this. Now, this is what they're using the narcotics. Don't think that they'll give them narcotics and then they'll play the same tune and everything like this. It's pretty simple. You put something into the drink, the girl is, she loses her senses, and then the girl is abused and she's got nowhere else to go. And then the trick is that you convert, or I converted on my own, and she has that, thing we call in India, localage. And it can be a Christian girl or it can be a Hindu girl. There's no difference between both the girls. They are very scared of some, slur like this coming up. And then the best thing which they have is that, yes, I have converted and I have got married to this gentleman.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So just one point of correction is Alok's statement on the percentage of votes. This is a recent last assembly election. BJP has got 11% votes out of all, but that is also means that no any seats, but vote percentage has been increased in the last assembly election. Thank you.
I said 11.3 only.
Yeah. So just how just to discuss after love jihad, now the narcotics jihad, not in the India and other parts of the world, and number two, how the struggling is just growing between the Muslims and the Christians. This also much of concern, and just Hindus are watching, and whatever they have did according to Gita, whatever they will just be, they will define like other way. So nicely just you joined this show, and thanks to Vandana ji, Rakesh Tiwari ji, Alok Lahar ji, and Subodh ji that participated in the show. I will later discuss now, and just like, subscribe, and watch the Global Governance News TV, and just promote our nationalist movement of the media throughout the world. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.